Hello, everybody, and welcome to the next match of the Zelda 1 2023 Random Percent Tournament. Today, we have a match between Adirondackrick and jessandy8. I am Elso, and I'm joined by MX Allen.
Good afternoon, everyone.
So, what would you like to see their start screen?
I'm hoping that we get just outside the desert, where level 9's been showing up a lot.
Ooh, I like it. I want to see the river.
A little more devious.
Yeah, make the runners have the DC.
Alright, so what kind of dungeons do you want?
Vault TQ.
Somehow that doesn't surprise me. I'm hoping for shapes, but with second quest rooms in it. Actually, if I could be really evil, I'd say I want second quest 7 and 8, but first quest 9.
Oh, that would be amazing. But I think you would run into a problem where the empty squares on the map are filled up by the stairs, so there might not be enough empty squares to put all the stairs in.
Oh, that would be lovely. We'd end up with the staircase from 7 taking you into 8.
I'd be okay with this. And we start with the blue boomerang.
And we also start one space left from vanilla start, so I'm taking it easy on them.
But no vanilla sword, so they have to go find that. You can have shapes who walk through walls if you turn on the second quest doors flag, but that requires you to have shapes. And, well, I mean, there's not really much of a randomized sword.
No, but it does tell us we do not have the extra candles, so we are going to need to get some money.
That's important. Unless the red candle decides to show up, but let's be real. There's a 50% chance it's vanilla items, and 7 will probably be candle blocked.
I like how you think.
So, both runners kind of taking the same path. This is a pretty standard opening path for, well, pretty much any seed. And hey, look at that. We have ±2 at least, and we might have actual hints. Now, I have not been paying enough attention to see if it's booked to understand the old man.
This was the first place that had talking. The other place was the potion shop.
Yes.
And nothing's dropped yet. I was hoping to be able to tell if we had bomb droppers on the overworld or if we had mixed items.
Looks like we do not have booked for old men, so those hints might be useful. That's a death on this.
And it's first quest overworld because we have traditional level 3 colors.
Well, it will either be first quest overworld or first quest mixed. We would need to go to vanilla level 2 to confirm that.
Okay, I get confused with that. The only thing I know 100% is that if it's green, it means that it's second quest mixed.
Right. And if it's the cave, then it's hello, that's a bomb drop. And if it's the cave similar to what's on East Hyrule, then it's pure second quest. The one bit of trouble is that it's not the most convenient to check level 2, because if you're wrong on it, you lose, like, I don't know, 20 seconds or something.
That's why I'd rather, just pick it up on the way, like if you can do a screen scroll to get close to over there.
I'm a little surprised Rick isn't making a check for that other grave spot. Kind of just assuming it's first quest overworld. That's a cheap heart.
I'll take that any day of the week if it stops the damn beeping.
And power bracelet on the Armos means vanilla items is a lot more likely.
Especially since it was under its traditional Armos to begin with.
And also consider that... oh, hey, we don't have vanilla any roads. That's really interesting to know.
And we know where level 9 is right off the bat. It's a good first dungeon to find.
We start with the Triforces out of 2 and 4. And by the way, that's a Shapes 9.
I'm happy with this already.
Yeah, Shapes 9 is not bad. So Rick's gonna check this. I'll be curious to see if Rick decides to go ahead and check the Power Bracelet spot.
And I believe I saw a little bit earlier the blue ring was 232. Don't know if that's gonna be a huge thing or not, but it's best to, know it just in case combat is rough.
Rick now knows the location of level 9 and knows that it is not Vanilla Any Roads. Now, to me, this is starting to feel like a pure first, but a pure first feels like a mixed first until you actually get things to open caves with.
I'm gonna hope for a mix just because I love having the ladder be useful, because it's often the ultimate troll for runners.
I'm gonna hope for a mix just so that we get that stupid Deadwood spot. That's an expensive candle.
We still have
not an insignificant piece of information.
True. It is. I like that the bait is only 73, so the bait is actually cheaper than the candle used to cook the meat.
So Rick will find level 6. We're in full shapes. And the way that we can tell we're in full shapes is both level 6 and level 9 start kind of in that bottom right corner, and neither of those spots are actually valid rooms in first or second quest. So, enjoy your full shapes, folks. Especially your Shapes 8.
I don't know, Shapes 8 can be a lot better than Shape 7.
But here's the real question. Would you rather dig Shapes 8 or 2Q8?
2Q8.
Oh, interesting choice.
If it's Shapes 8, first off, we have not checked to see if second quest rooms are on. But if it's 2Q8, I know exactly what I'm getting into, I know exactly where I gotta go, and once I grab the map, I'm fine. I know where I am, and I don't accidentally... Rick grabbing the Triforce out of 6, I don't accidentally walk out of there at the wrong time.
Rick gets the Triforce out of level 6. We'll see if he decides to go back in. That 6 wasn't too terribly big, as Jess is going to find the transport. Looks like Rick is not going to go back into 6 just yet. We have a mix! We have a mix!
Which gives us more push block spaces, more flute spaces, those 2 ladder spots. So now watch it be the raft that's important.
It's going to be all 3. Now, you know what? We're going to have all 4. There's a wand in 6. That is an even stronger indicator that we have vanilla items. In which case, Rick leaving 6 is not a terrible play, as you don't know how long it's going to take to get that. However, the wand is an incredibly powerful combat booster. But, again, if we have vanilla items, Rick will be able to get a white sword out of a white sword cave, and I think he'll be perfectly fine with that. Also, he can beat this game off white sword.
He is. Actually, I think both of these runners can. It's just a question of not only getting inside of your own head, but just trying to stay calm and do the best with what you have. And the Coast Heart is the vanilla Coast Heart.
So we have that. I am willing to call it vanilla items at this point until proven otherwise, in which case, again, the wand is going to help Jess out a lot, but she did not get the Triforce out of 6. At least not that I saw.
I didn't see it either, but considering we don't know what the flute will take us to, for all we know, it could take us back to unbeaten dungeons, in which case, just pop back in on your way through again.
Now, I noticed that they don't start with that Triforce, so it's not like they're going to be able to ignore that dungeon forever. Oh, hey, a White Sword. And that kind of equalizes out the lack of wand for Rick, having the White Sword, but the White Sword is also good against the Witch Robes. And Jess is 1 rupee short of being able to buy that candle. That could be very important.
I'm waiting for it to be everything is vanilla items except for, like, switch the bow and the red candle, because nobody's going to want to dig 7 for the red candle.
I like that. However, I would raise it 1 step further. Everything is vanilla except the silvers are deep in level 8. And the magic key is deep in level 9. Also, Jess buys a candle. And
I like how you think again.
Say again?
I said I again like how you think. And it is different things being said, so the book this time is either just going to be Atlas or a good way to set your face on fire.
Have we seen the most... Oh, it's a boomstick! It's neither!
I am fine with this. I want my money now.
Call J.G. Wentworth!
877 cash now!
That's also an expensive book.
It is. It's only 20 cheaper than the blue ring. But considering you can get a red ring in level 9.
Now, that may end up changing Rick's thought process on 6 if he sees that it's a boomstick seed. Because the wand might suddenly be more worth it. However, you also might want hints, and that's a small secret.
And the other, however, is Rick has seen the White Sword and the Power Bracelet, has not seen any of the other items yet.
Rick also knows he needs to get a candle at some point, unless he's going to gamble on level 7.
Shape 7, and all you're looking for is a candle and a Triforce. It's still Shape 7.
Yeah. Ooh, nice large secret, though.
2 large secrets and you got a boomstick.
And candle is required. Level 5 is under a burn spot. Rick electing not to buy arrows. Probably just gonna go ahead and get the candle first. Jess really doesn't want to spend this key, but doesn't really get much of a choice either. This has got to be a transport. The general unwritten rule of 5 is the first stair you find is a transport. If it is an item, it's going to be the boomerang. And occasionally, 1 out of every, 10 million seeds, you'll get a good item in the first stair of 5. But it doesn't have to be segmented. It's likely segmented, but it does not have to be. It could still be a whole block of dungeon, and you just have to take a stair to get out.
I like the segmented ones where it's only segmented because there's no direct path. So it's like stretches from side to side, and there's just no way to connect the 2 sides together.
And we do have Rick and Jess both in the same level. Rick does not have bombs, though, so he's going to have to be a little careful about that. We'll see if he's even going to elect to go in. There's a free heart on the floor. Rick's going to elect not to dig 5 just yet, wants to conserve his keys.
Yeah, he doesn't like to spend keys unless he absolutely has to, and that's one of my favorite games of resource management during these races, is one getting all the keys, the other one having no keys, and seeing which play actually works out better.
Yeah. Rick definitely knows it shapes because he got the map in 6. Rick may not, however... Ooh, it is segmented, but not the way we thought it was.
I love it, but I hate it.
So this is where it gets a little bit interesting. So, Rick has... I don't think Rick necessarily has convinced himself it's vanilla items yet.
I don't blame him. He's only seen 2 of the items, and he hasn't seen the coast. Jess is the one that showed us that knowledge.
Right. So as far as Rick is concerned, he doesn't know that this is going to be the recorder. He doesn't know that one fixed. But, on the other hand, if we see something that isn't a recorder in here, then that gets very interesting. Jess has elected to leave level 5 at this point. Presumably not wanting to spend the keys.
I wouldn't blame her, and she also saw that dig dogger block, which, if she assumes it's vanilla items, she's got to find a way around the other, a different path around 5, which she needs to get more bombs to try to do that, or find that second transport staircase.
Ooh, Zell's side of a boomerang. That's actually quite good information to have. So I think Rick is going to take the same path that Jess did here. This room has the map in it. Now, Rick doesn't have the wand, but who needs that when the keys die to the normal boomerang?
True. I'd go back and I'd try bombing south in that room that Rick just left. Because this is the path that Jess took, and coming up on that dig dogger block.
I wonder if Rick will spend the key to go north, though, because that could be interesting. Because there is what appears to be a way around it.
Only having 1 key, hoping to possibly trade a key for a key.
Yeah. 5 is also not terrible on keys, usually. Sometimes it requires a key or 2 to get in, but once you can get in, you're usually pretty good to get some keys out of it.
And Jess is picking up a pack of bombs, slightly cheaper than vanilla.
And Rick is actually thinking about spending the key down here. Now, this is interesting. I can't disagree with either play, whether you spend it north or south. Spending it this way does get you a potential extra bomb all over here. Might also get you a key back, but you have to clear a Bluegaria room with a bunch of Bimoses. Interesting. Okay, the level 7 has been found for Jess, in the lovely purple. And there's no bomb wall here in 5. This feels very weird. The reason I say this feels weird is 5 usually doesn't have this few bomb walls in it.
And I don't believe we saw Rick try pushing it. We haven't seen any testing one way or the other if 5 has second quest rooms, so I would have tried pushing on one of those walls just to see.
Now, there was a bomb wall near start that Rick was able to take. This gets a 5 for his efforts. Just finds a transport stair, gonna ignore it for now. Probably will grab this key and bomb the wall to the south.
Rick is key blocked out of that dungeon and is gonna have to go explore somewhere else, and just finding that bomb wall able to go south to what could potentially be the item.
And there's our old friend, the Wish Robe. You know, I'd rather they be here than out on the overworld.
True. I mean, the orange ones, I'm fine with them being anywhere, but the blue ones, put them somewhere where I can easily get around them, and I'm fine.
The trouble with the orange ones on the overworld is when you get to screens like this, where they'll stagger, and then it becomes near impossible to dodge them efficiently without candle boosting or otherwise.
The only way I could be a devil's advocate for having them inside of dungeons is always hoping that you can trade them out in the enemy stack group.
Rick? You can't bomb the bush. Good small manipulation there from Jess, but doesn't really get anything for it.
I think that would be an amazing type of seed if you could bomb the bushes instead of burn them.
And Jess has to decide if she wants to spend the key. She is going to. Now, if there's not a bomb wall to the left here, she is going to have to go back to 5 to get the recorder, but oh! Trapped in a room with a mugger and no money.
And not wanting to give up a heart, at least not this early. she hasn't found her white sword item yet.
And Rick still may not be sure that it's vanilla items. So, I mean, we're technically still waiting on 1 or 2 more to verify it. I don't know if we have extra bosses yet, because 7, I believe, normally has 3 or 4 bosses.
With 7, I just call it regular amounts of bosses until they show up in every room, and Jess getting wall mastered.
And that is a huge hint for Rick, finding out that the recorder is likely, but perhaps not guaranteed to be ladder blocked.
And I hate where that level is out of the way where you do not want to have to go back and re-dig it because it's so far out of the way from the rest of the map.
The only saving grace is you have to come back down there with a flute at some point to get the flute spot next to it. Looks like we either have helpful or deceptive hints. Oh, nope, we have mixed, so every hint that we see is going to be truthful, but if we get a community hint like that, we get a community hint. Like that. So, I think we want to see level 4 show up in the near future. We want to see level 2 show up in the near future just to get some items. Level 1 would be great.
I'd rather go for level 1, because let's just assume for right now that it is vanilla items. I don't want to go into level 2 just to pick up a boomerang that I already have.
What, you don't want to try to dual-wield boomerangs?
Okay, personally, I think that sounds awesome. But then again, I'm the same person. I don't care which boomerang I pick up first, I will take both of them.
Oh, I am the first boomerang you... It's the correct one type.
Rick re-entering the bomb game, picking up 1 bomb pack. Gonna go check out this bottom left-hand corner and find his way into level 7.
I don't think we have shuffled drop groups. And the reason I don't think we have shuffled drop groups is we have been seeing a lot of bombs off of bomb droppers.
Which is actually pretty good, all things considered. I mean, it just took us forever to get the first bomb drop, but now that we're getting them, it's been pretty easy to come by.
So for those joining us at this point, the main difference between the runners is Rick got the Triforce out of level 6, whereas Jess got the wand out of it and left without the Triforce. That's really it. They've kind of followed each other's footsteps, even if they're at different times otherwise.
Which hopefully means Jess will be finding her white sword. There we go, white sword right there. She now has the slight combat advantage.
Yes. And we also know it's a boomstick seed, so level 8 is going to have a magical shield if we have a lovely thing called vanilla items, which so far all of the indicators are pointing that we do. But we're not quite at the guaranteed level yet. We need to see at least 1 or 2 more items in order to verify that we're going to be vanilla. Rick is carefully working his way through this wizard room. That heart isn't actually going to help him outside of stopping the beeping, because everything in there deals 2 hearts of damage.
But Rick is doing the spawn manipulation to get rid of that blue Riz robe.
And it will stay dead once he kills it, so this was a very good decision for Rick to go ahead and try to get that blue Riz robe gone. But no steer.
I'm surprised he wasn't using that candle to more of a combat advantage, and we finally have an any roads, including taking to that Death Armos where she died earlier. And Death Mountain access.
More Death Mountain access. Although I guess that's good for your bomb count later. So I feel like Rick is going to be a little more inclined to dig the 7 out for the item, because he's probably not as convinced that it's vanilla items yet.
Without that wand, I'd still be glad to pick up the red candle. Even if I'm hoping it's not vanilla, I'd be glad to get the red candle right now because it's repeatable offense. And Rick also getting wall mastered in the same room that jessandy got hit earlier.
Now, I do wonder if that was intentional before checking his health value, because he is heading back in, so he might have wanted to go back to that orange wizard room to try to bomb his way through.
Yeah, I'd rather take the wall master over getting hit by one of those wizrobe beams.
So there's a couple of walls here for Rick to check. As Jess is continuing to do some overworld exploration looking for new levels, finds one here in the northeast. It's level 2. Probably not the level she wanted to see. Especially because she already has the Triforce out of it.
And because she might have the boomerang out of it too. I'd still check it though, it's one of the smaller dungeons, even in shapes.
So Rick does have the option to try to get through this key door and hope that you can bomb to the left. jessandy is going to be overcapped on money at this point. And you cannot. So this is interesting. Rick is going to head into this room of level 7 that we haven't seen yet. This could be our red candle, if it is vanilla items. It is not, and we are 100% Dig Dogger blocked in 7.
I'm just wondering what jessandy is planning on spending this money on. Will it be the blue ring, or will it be the boomstick?
Book.
Book.
I am a firm believer in it. If you can afford a book, buy a book. You can make up for lack of blue ring by just standing in the door and blowing up wizards.
And this is why, as soon as we are done commentating on this, I have never played a boomstick seed in my life. I'm going to roll myself one up just so I can.
Boomstick seeds are a little bit more heavy on money management. But right now, the bit that boomstick is a huge advantage for Jess, just because she doesn't have to worry about bomb walls in dungeons. That's the biggest reason, I think.
Speaking of money management, one of the biggest things that I've learned from doing these weeks of Swiss was really watching CD Improv, how she will find the secrets, not take them until she has found what she wants or needs to buy, then go grab all the money and pick up the item. I think that's a good way to do money management.
Yeah, what that does is that really does prevent you from running into the problem where you just find all the door repairs as you need the money.
Especially with I'm never sure with mixed quests if you're going to have first quest money or second quest money. It's just I prefer to err on the side of caution with that.
Right.
Because I know in second quest there is an additional mugger as well as 2 fewer large secrets, so already you're about 140, 160 rupees down compared to where you would be.
Yeah, there's second quest money management is definitely... Honestly, I consider second quest money management to be a little bit of an art form as well as a skill. I know, at least for myself, I have this problem where I will see the money and I will pick up the money and not even think about, oh, I should probably save this for potential door repairs. I am very much a see money, get money type.
Me too, but I used to run a lot of vanilla, and ever since I started trying to learn randomizer, there's times when I go, Okay, wait a minute. Is this where this is in vanilla, or is this just where I keep finding the damn thing?
To answer a question in chat, the reason the colors are a little bit different is probably a difference between running on hardware and running on emulator. Rick digging this too, he doesn't quite know that it's likely vanilla items yet, so he's probably digging this for keys in the item, hoping that the item is something good. If he is thinking vanilla items as we find level 8, this is probably just a key dig.
Not picking up that Triforce yet. Gonna dig a few more out. It's free, it's just sitting there, so it's easy to pick up for a health refill on your way out.
Please observe the shape of level 8.
That is a hippopotamus with a scorpion's tail.
That actually is really good. I like it.
It's got a bunch of one-off rooms that definitely reminds me of vanilla level 8, where you gotta just jut off and hope that one of the offshoot rooms takes you to your items.
Yeah. So, I think at this stage we're going to start to see the difference, the difference between Rick and Jess start to increase a bit, as Rick is still digging level 2 for presumably keys, probably also an item. That's an interesting level 3 hint, though, so that could be useful. Whereas Jess is able to just skip the entirety of it, and having the boomstick is gonna just let her kind of fly through these dungeons without a care in the world about a bomb count, really. I mean, she'll still want bombs probably for, like, wizards and stuff, but for walls, doesn't matter.
Yes, and it'll also help because those keys that come out of the Vires are lasting much longer than the fire is, so those definitely rolled up. The more things that are rolled up, the better it is for Jess.
Now, Rick is getting up to 9 hearts, so Rick might... There's the magic boomerang. Rick might be able to pick up the magical sword at some point.
And we had a Goma in that room 1 north, so she's hoping she can get up north from this in this T room.
Rick will now get some more money.
Leaving a little bit of money on the table, but nowhere near as much as Jess did. Now, I'd be digging every single room of this 8, no matter how many keys I ended up spending, because if this is vanilla items, getting that any key out of here would make all the difference.
Oh, yeah. They did start with the blue boomerang. That is correct. That's why Rick did not pick it up. Rick does know it's boomstick. He's seen the shop, but I believe he's now a little bit more convinced that it's vanilla items.
Which is also our way of saying that we don't think that he's going to be digging 7 at all, except to get his Triforce.
Right.
And unable to pick up mags at 10. And still ending up ladder blocked and just up and A-ing instead of dealing with that four-headed Gliok.
So now we just want to know where the Triforce is in this level, because at this point, Jess is in an incredibly strong position. Rick did buy a blue ring. He elected not to buy the book, which indicates that he's probably not going to go back to 6 for that wand.
Well, in my mind, the only person that knows it's vanilla items is Jess, because Rick has seen 3 items total. I mean, for all he knows, he's avoiding level 6 because it's level 6.
He's seen the Coast Guard at this point. But Rick's on Death Mountain looking for level 3. This I like. When you get a lead, you follow the lead.
I'm surprised Jess wasn't going up that key door. I didn't see the Triforce drop, so I would have headed up just to see if it was in there.
Rick finds the all-important level 4. Jess might have the... sorry, go ahead.
So that would be 3 and 4 up here at Death Mountain.
And if we haven't seen level 9, that's the only level we're missing.
No, level 9 is in the Vanilla Grave Any Road spot.
Then I think that's all the levels we need. So Rick has at least that in his back pocket, assuming he's seen where level 8 is.
And there's the ladder out of 4.
We have not seen level 1. I forgot level 1. So Rick's got the ladder. He's probably going to go back to 5 when he's done on Death Mountain for 3, because 3 is relatively unlikely to be quarter blocked. Looks like Rick is going to see that it's just a hint. It's kind of interesting that you can push blocks onto other blocks.
Yeah, I enjoy seeing that sometimes, just watching it become one giant block in the middle. It's like, okay, you're gone.
Just finds a stair here in level 8. Probably the magical shield, if it's not the other end of a transport she's already seen. Rick's gotta watch his health. But would like to kill some Dark Nuts on hopes of both a bomb and a heart drop. Gets neither. Triforce for Jess in level 8.
Of course it's going to be neither after you get the clock after the first enemy.
Yep. And the Triforces are not vanilla, as evidenced by the Triforce being in that Gleeok room.
And just deciding to leave 8, which, considering her knowledge, I do not blame her at all.
Level 1 is on Death Mountain. Rick has all the information he needs, I think, in terms of dungeon locations. That's not insignificant.
True. Still has to get his way around some of the levels, but if he can find that wand, well, he's got to get back to 5 for that.
Honestly, I think what Rick will do is go ahead and finish out 1 and 3, go back to 5, get the recorder, jump over to 7, and then do 8 last, hoping that he just gets the magic key on the way. Gonna go ahead and spend a key here, knowing that you have to spend this key to get up into these 4 rooms of 1. Gets a heart for his efforts, which, again, he doesn't know where the magical sword is, but it could still be useful.
No, he did find it. He checked it first. He checked it on 10.
Sees a compass.
Sees it's on the other side of the map.
but still going to go ahead and clear some of these rooms because one does have a floor drop as well as a stair drop, and also would like some extra keys like that.
He's looking for the stairs right now because the wooden banana was on the floor, a room, 2 rooms north of where you enter at level 1. And he's gonna have to spend one of his keys. Fortunately, one has actually been pretty nice with keys this seed.
Yeah, the any key so far hasn't, like, it's been helpful, but it's not been a defining factor.
That's why I'm waiting to see how it turns out in 9, because 9 either has everything key blocked or it's behind paper mache walls.
Okay, good. I thought Rick, for a split second, I thought Rick was just going to leave and not worry about the other item in here, but no. Jess is back in level 5. Gonna see if she can work her way around the Dig Dogger now that she has both the Any Key and the Boomstick in possession. Oh, the shoot room! It is ladder blocked!
Well, shoot.
There's no way to get around it. That's amazing. And that's the kind of thing that Rick needed, even though he doesn't know it yet.
And there's his bow, which means he can go and finish off those wall masters and head on out.
That one singular shoot room has swung this race back to being relatively even from Rick having the exploration and the ladder.
Agreed, because Jess, apart from seeing the Any roads, has not explored any of Death Mountain yet.
And she never dug 2, so she didn't get the hint that level 3 is going to be up here, which led to Rick finding both 4 and 1. Oh, and that's ladder block too!
So for this seed, it is brought to you by the ladder and by Spiky.
Now, there is one potential problem with this. You might have to double dip Death Mountain.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Rick will check everything before doing that, but I imagine 5 will be the first location he goes to when he's done here.
And Jess is pushing through the walls as she walks by them, just hoping that they end up having some second quest doors.
Combined with the wand on the left side is a little finicky and doesn't like to work sometimes.
Because the weird hitboxes?
It just doesn't... it's more so that it's too close to the edge of the screen to spawn the projectile, which is what you need for the whatchamacallit.
Right. And there's the 4th take Any over on Rick's side.
The Rick is in position to get Magical Sword, but is not quite does not quite know the location of it yet. And if this is not level 3, we're double dipping Death Mountain because it's recorder blocked.
I love it.
So Rick is beelining back to level 5. Jess is making her way up towards Death Mountain now. Also, apparently I was wrong and Rick checked mags first. I apologize, folks.
He's he's face tanking like he's got red ring. He's got to be careful.
He's got enough hearts. He's fine. But Rick also knows that Dig Dogger is not going to block anything useful, given that you can't be required to get the recorder to get the recorder.
Yeah, the question just becomes, where in this level is the recorder?
Probably this room. And the reason I say probably this room is it's either this nubbin or the other nubbin. And there we... No, that's the other transport to the segment. It could be in the segment. Now, I do imagine you're going to leave this 5 with the Triforce and Recorder at this point. Hey, a bomb upgrade.
Which we're nowhere near getting. 121, probably for the basic 2.
And I don't see Rick coming back in here to get that.
Rupee Boss guarding a 5-pack of rupees.
And to answer the question in chat, the recorder use doesn't make it necessarily easier to take down a Dig Dogger, it's required to take down a Dig Dogger.
And Jess has found her level 4, which is going to be great. She can pick up her ladder.
Yeah, this should be pretty cool. Given it's right here.
And she can just leave because they already have this particular Triforce. I'd up A, go straight to 5. She doesn't know that the rest of the levels are up here, and she knows she needs that ladder to get through 5, so...
Yes, but on the other hand, if you're already up here, you might as well try to knock everything out while you're up here instead of have to come back just from an efficiency standpoint. And where in the world is this recorder at? There's got to be like one room left that Rick hasn't been into.
He checked his other nubbin?
He just checked it, and this is not it either. But he's not been in here yet. There it is. So Rick will be our first runner to get a recorder.
Now he's just got to figure out which one of the Dig Doggers he needs to kill.
Assuming it's not just in this room.
True, I forgot about some of the super rooms.
Like that. That Rick is off to see where the recorder takes him, and it's going to be beating old locations. As Jess finds level 1.
Unbeaten old locations.
Right. So Rick will have to just go. And that melody is... I've heard it before, but I don't remember the name of it.
I've heard it on previous tournaments, and I don't remember the name of it either.
It's a melody.
Yep. I go with the old standby of, if when in doubt, just guess Final Fantasy. And Jess has already got the bow. The fact that she has Boomstick and the Any key is making things a whole lot quicker. Mostly from the fact that she's saving utility of movement. And Rick going to make the trip along the coast. Gonna find the only thing I remember was 134 rupee secret.
Oh, I wonder if Rick has seen all of the levels at this point.
I don't think he's seen 8.
Because if he's not seen 8, that would explain a significant number of things.
Why he's been checking all the flute spots, for one.
Yes.
And Jess, I don't believe got the heart, but did get the bow, got the Triforce, and is getting out of 1. Probably feeling a little bit behind now that it's the 50-minute mark.
Yeah. Rick is headed in the correct direction of 8.
Probably gonna hit these 3 desert spots first.
Yeah. So, Jess does have the knowledge of where all the levels are, but still has to go back to 6 to get that Triforce. We don't have the Triforce out of 7, because nobody was able to get in there because it's the Dig Dogger. But Jess is not heading in the direction of level 3. Or... Oh, she's gonna up A. She probably now knows that it's recorder blocked. And Rick finds level 8.
Would not be surprised if, after digging 8, Rick made one last play for Mags, just because it's 2 screens away.
Well, not only is it 2 screens away, it's kind of on the most direct path to level 3 at this point, because there's really no other good way to get to that recorder spot. On 3 on Death Mountain, I believe we was recorder blocked.
And there's that Triforce in 6 for Jess.
So with Jess done in level 6, she's just got to make her way back to 5 now, and that's right where she's headed to. So we're gonna see things start to even up a little bit again. Now, Jess does not have the hint as to level 3's location, so Jess will have to do a little bit of exploration to find that. That will help kind of, again, even things out. Rick needs to find this Triforce in level 8. Rick did see the 3 on Death Mountain hint, but again, we're pretty sure it's recorder blocked up there, and Rick just got the recorder a couple of minutes ago. I want to say the Triforce in this 8 was kind of in like the upper middle portion.
Yeah, everything was pretty much centrally located in that area.
And Rick will be okay seeing these keys, because he doesn't know where the any key is. I mean, he knows it's an 8, but you're not going to dig 8 for an any key, I don't think. Not unless you have, like, no keys.
Well, he's got so many hearts and stuff. He's got 5 keys already. So I wouldn't blame him for going either way, because he can just, you know, do what he's been doing, which is bash his face into enemies and attack them that way.
Yep. And if he does pick up that and if he is able to pick up that magical sword, that will also help a lot in terms of just combating. But Rick's got to find this Triforce or compass first.
And jessandy also saying no to the bomb upgrade.
Yeah, with a boomstick, you don't really need it. And Jess now knows exactly where the recorder is, because there's only one room left in the dungeon. Jess does have to watch her health a little bit more carefully, because while the boomstick will help you kill things, it will not stop you from getting killed.
They haven't added that particular flag set yet.
Now, that would make for a very interesting flag, is book increases your defense.
It still sets you on fire, though.
Oh, yes. Magical key pickup for Rick.
Jess is making her way in that correct direction to pick up both Triforce and Recorder.
As Rick sees the Triforce here in level 7, really wants to get this fairy to cut down on the refill. I'm not quite sure if it saved time at that point.
After the first or second try, I would have just said screw it and grabbed the Triforce.
Rick has re-entered level 8 and is immediately leaving. So, Jess has got the Triforce and the, whatchamacallit, Recorder out of 5. Rick picks up the magical sword on 12 hearts. As Jessandy needs to go look for 3. So who would have thought? After all of the divergence and all of the different things we saw, both runners would be basically going into the same dungeon at the same time. Just taking a little bit of a detour to go check this whistle spot.
Jess never saw that hint, so she doesn't know this, but she needs to get up there as quickly as she can.
And there's level 3. So Rick is now in go mode, assuming that you just take the assumption that silvers are a 9. Jess doesn't have that hint because she never dug 2 out. So it's interesting. Thinking 2 out ended up being more beneficial than I think everyone thought it was going to be for Rick.
Well, it's pretty much been continuing the trend that I've seen in a lot of these races, where you just really want to dig the dungeons that you already have the Triforces out of, because it's either provided knowledge or some valuable piece of information, some knowledge or valuable piece of kit.
Now, there's one last thing Rick needs to do before he can go into level 9. You remember that level 7 that we tried every possible way to get into, but we could never get into because it was Dig Dogger blocked?
Yeah. He's got to go have fun with that.
Yeah, but at least 7's pretty short.
Now, I'm kind of expecting Jessandy to be going to level 7 first, just because she's already dug part of that out as well.
And she is in the area, knowing that there is... Well, it is relatively easy to get back here with the... actually... No. I would hold off on 7, because you can get back here with the Recorder, whereas if you beat 7, you can't get back here when you're done with 3 to go to 9. So holding off on 7 here is actually a good idea.
See, I agree with you, but I'm also just following what I see her doing.
Well, nope, she is definitely going to 2nd.
And Rick picked up the bomb upgrade from this one, and it's the traditional 4 bombs, but for a slight markup.
Still though, Rick doesn't have a whole lot he's going to spend money on at this point besides maybe potions, but I don't even know if he has a letter.
I don't think we've seen the letter.
It's probably under a raft spot. Correct. Neither runner has bought wood arrows. Rick will have the lead going into level 9 due to having already done level 3, whereas Jess will need to go and find that. But if level 9 is Wizrobe heavy, Jess will have the ability to just boomstick them all to death. But with the magical sword, that is a little bit less of a relevant factor than it might otherwise be, because it deals the same, because the boomstick and the sword deal the same amount of damage. This is a wonderful room. Gets the double stun.
Yeah, gives you a good chance to refill your bombs unless you're dealing with troll dongos.
Like that. As Jess finds Tridongos, but doesn't pick up the bomb pack. Doesn't quite need it as much, but still might be nice to have.
And now, if Rick remembers where 9 is, should be heading straight back to that push block spot in the graveyard.
And it looks like that's where he's going, and he's going to take the Lost Woods route. That's a room for... Oh! Jess gets sniped by the Wizrobe, and the blue ring coming in a bit handy for Rick here. Actively avoiding the clock, as Jess now has to go all the way back through. I don't think Jess ever tried to bomb that wall, so she's going to go through the stair and be horrendously disappointed.
I agree.
All right.
This room was the room where they both got wall mastered out of earlier, so I don't blame her for trying to go back through this.
And Rick is our first runner to enter level 9. He's going to be looking for a room like this with a single shutter door if the enemies are cleared, and oh my goodness, the silvers are right at the start of 9. Well, that's one thing we're not looking for anymore.
37 years of this game, Ganon's just like, stick an arrow in me, I'm done.
Now, I do wonder, Rick is going to clear this room out, so any room that has a single shutter door like this can be Zelda. So if Zelda's right here... Nope. Okay, so we actually do have to dig 9 a little bit.
We haven't seen Ganon's room yet. And the thing I've been told with this tournament is... if Ganon's in Ganon's room, then more likely than not, you have to enter, find Zelda in her room.
That's correct. Their rooms are tied together into the same flag. It is possible that they're shuffled and just by randomization, the two end up in different rooms. But it's very likely that if one's in their room, the other's in their room too. And Jess takes another death in level 7.
And Jess is probably cursing out every Wizrobe that ever existed.
Probably gonna go grab a heal, but the blue ring definitely helps. Ganon rolling in his room, I don't think it's even as high as 1 in 20, because you have so many possible rooms for Ganon to roll into. It's not the entire list of rooms. I don't think Ganon can roll into any room with blocks or turrets normally, unless it's Ganon's room. But it might be as 1 in 20. I would, if I'm Jess, I would be tempted to stand in the door and just get the numbers down a little bit to make it easier to get through.
Yeah. Kill a couple, save the room, kill a couple, save the room.
Here's the Ganon.
Even if it takes a little bit more time, it still takes less time than dying and coming back.
And it's 0 HP Ganon. So, all Rick needs to do is find a princess and he'll be done in this level 9. Now, this is a 3-1 match between these two, so the winner will go to 4-1, and the loser will go to 3-2.
Yeah, we're almost done with Swiss. Only about a half a week left.
And I believe the bracket reveal is Sunday at 8 o'clock? If I'm remembering my schedule correctly.
I believe so, unless we have another couple of 2-hour epics like we've been having this last week.
Come on. Oh, there's the door to Zelda. Everyone, please get your GGs in the chat for Adirondack Rick, finishing with an official time of 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 58 seconds.
Meanwhile, jessandy is making her way back towards that room, prepared to do round 3 against Blue Wizzies.
And gets through unscathed. That's always how it goes. The moment you go to get health, you get through the room perfectly. It's always when you go get health.
The game knows.
Now, Jess still does need to find level 3, as we're joined by an Adirondack Rick here in the booth with us. GG's, and congratulations on the 4-1.
Well, thank you.
So, there were there were a couple of big differences between the two of you that kind of separated you. The first one was that Jess got the wand out of 6 early and elected to buy the boomstick, whereas you bought the blue ring. And without the blue ring, she took a couple of deaths in that blue wizard room in level 7.
Oh, that one that was 2 north of the Triforce?
Yep.
Yeah.
And the other, and perhaps even more impactful piece was Jess had kind of figured out that it was going to be vanilla items before finding level 2. So she just saw the entrance to level 2 and left, which means that she does not have the hint that level 3 is on Death Mountain and is now checking all the recorder spots, probably going to get to that one near the end of this route. Whereas you had that hint already and were able to get 3 done quicker.
Yeah, that was a huge hint in retrospect, but the only reason I was digging 2 in the first place was at that point I already knew it was vanilla items, so I knew it was the magic boomerang that we started with, but I wanted keys. I wanted to dig out the keys of that dungeon, because obviously I have no idea where level 8 is with the any key, so I'm going to dig 2, try to see how many keys I can pull out of there, and hey, 3's on Death Mountain.
And that also led you to finding 1 and 4, because they were also on Death Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's your thoughts on... I guess this is a good question to ask, is if you're in a seed like this, where you kind of figure it's vanilla items, and you also know that it's a boomstick seed, does that cause you to reconsider, or at least take pause and consider redigging a level 6 if you've already got the Triforce out of it for the wand, in this case?
So I was thinking about going back into level 6, because obviously finding that bookstore was like, okay. And then I was just, as the seed continued to play out, I knew that there were some nasty rooms that I was finding there in that level 7, and I've been on beeping strats for some of this seed, so I'm like, no, my priority, if I get the rupees, is going to be that blue ring, especially knowing that it's vanilla items, which means red ring is going to be a 9. And you have no idea where exactly it's going to turn up into that level 9. So I'm like, no, I want the blue ring, I want the defense, I want to ensure that I can get through this seed in a proper manner.
And just did pick up her Triforce out of 3, so she's on her way to 9 now, but does not have the benefit of being able to whistle to 7 to get back there a little more quickly.
Yeah, but fortunately it's at least close enough by where she should be entering there in about 20 seconds or so.
Yeah, she's not that bad off there with level 3 being her last dungeon. I love the recorder 2 unbeaten dungeons, which kind of played out in my route. I started for just a second thinking, oh, it's going to be a bad idea going to 3 first, but then I'm like, oh, right, that's right. I have level 7 still unbeaten, and 7's just a few screens away, so... And just like the race that I commentated last night, I love this Silver Arrow's first room into level 9 business.
Yeah. And we were both kind of hoping that Zelda would be right below it.
Yeah, that was the entire reason why I took care of those likes. was I wanted to see if that's Zelda. I don't know if Ganon and Zelda are going to be in their own rooms, but finding Ganon in his own room, that was immediately my thought process is I want to find north-facing doors.
Yeah, and of course, a nice 0 HP Ganon.
That wasn't the nice thing, though. I mean, the silver arrows for one room in was the nicest thing. The second nicest thing was, hey, that room with the likes, one room from Ganon. Here's an instant transport that takes you 2 rooms south of Zelda.
True. And the shapes were all pretty small and, for the most part, really decent today.
I'm going to say one thing about this seed. I am surprised we got a full shapes seed here.
Yeah, it was... To me, the most interesting part about that was the fact that it was full shapes, and it was level 6 and 9, the 2 largest dungeons of the full shapes are the first ones you found, too.
And both of them you started in the far bottom right-hand corner.
And talking about that big size of that level 6 is kind of another of the reasons why I didn't want to initially try to dig out that wand, because we've been in a lot of cases where that level 6 can be over 30 plus rooms, and that's kind of looking in the needle in a haystack scenario there. So if it were to be that I was actually interested in the boomstick a little bit later on, then I would consider it, but like I said, I valued the defense knowing that the red ring's in 9, so I'm buying that blue ring and we're going to get through the seed as well as we can.
So Jess just found Zelda.
Yep, and she takes that staircase. She would go right straight to one room left of the Ganon, but she isn't.
There's another shoot room. Shoot room that leads to nowhere.
Good old shoot room.
Sandwiched in between a vertical and horizontal chute. So going into the tournament now, you are 4-1 coming into the end of Swiss. Are you looking forward to seeing your fellow competitors that are going to be matching you in that bracket?
So, a couple things go into play here. First of all, I will definitely be looking forward to the bracket phase of this tournament. I'm definitely happy the fact that after last year's calamity for me, to go 4-1 is definitely a good feeling. Especially with the 0-3 start that I had in that tournament and whatnot, but it's definitely a good feeling to be able to go 4-1. As far as the upcoming next round is concerned, we'll see. Being 4-1, that means I should have a high enough of a seed where if I don't get one of the buys, I should have a decent first round opponent.
Yeah, it'll be... I'm kind of curious how many buys there's going to be. I have an idea in my head of how many there will be, but...
Well, we started with 56 runners, so if everyone decides that they're going to go ahead and play in the brackets, that means we have 8 buys. We're going to have 2 runners who go 5-0. Those 2 are definitely going to get one of the buys, which means 6 of the 4-1s then are going to be guaranteed a bye into the second round of the bracket. After that, it becomes a little complex.
Okay, I would have thought it was 7, because if you take the 7, because you would basically be able to run little mini brackets of... Oh, wait, no, that actually doesn't work. Never mind, I'm dumb. I tried to do math on Twitch. That was my mistake.
Elsoa?
Yes?
64 minus 56.
That is 8.
Yep.
I thought math on Twitch was your forte.
It is what I have time to think about it. I didn't have time to think about it.
Yeah, that would be the problem. Jess taking a slight health refill, not wanting to face tank a Patra with no rings at all. Now looking for a different path to Ganon.
Yeah, since Chad's talking about it, I guess we should probably talk about how the brackets are going to work out, because we're going to start off with the random percent flag set, but introduce the loser's remorse.
Are there any flags you're thinking of that you would want to consider for that loser's remorse, besides the obvious, just throw everything as hard as possible and hope that you live?
Honestly, I don't know what I would do, and I think to use the same answer that a couple of people that answered me when I asked this question last night during the interviews, I think it really depends on who I get paired against. Because obviously you got some runners who the vanilla dungeons are their forte. You have some runners who 0 HP kind of becomes their forte. So I think it really depends on who I wind up getting in each of these matches.
I'd like to note that Jess just found the bait block, and here's Ganon in the room with the bait block. This could be dangerous. Oh, you can bomb into Ganon's room.
Okay, no, I didn't bomb out of that way because I knew that I had the way to get into that room if it mattered. So I bombed to the south and I bombed to the east.
And we have Bacon, and now should be able to just go make a beeline straight for the princess.
Yeah, little does she know that that room with the pancakes to the left again and is a staircase that takes her almost instantly there, but I knew going into this match, jessandy, she's 3-1 for solid reasons. She had her run of very good opponents in this tournament as well, so she's no slouch, and I knew I had to play pretty well in this, and that's probably another reason why I decided to take the blue ring this time.
And of course, we wished absolutely no trolls on either one of you whatsoever.
What are you talking about? I wished all the trolls on them. I wanted, like, a full second quest with ±4 and, like, 5 back-to-back 14 blue HP wizards. Wait, no, I said that only in my head.
You said part of that only in your head. And I, of course, went with Oops All Patras.
Yes, for those that don't know, I'm very much known as a little bit of a troll.
A little bit?
A lot of it.
Thank you.
But occasionally I say stupid things that make sense.
GG's, Jess.
Yes, GG's to jessandy. Official time of 1:16:51.
And hopefully we'll be getting her up here in the booth with us.
And that thing sounds like we are joined by a Jess. GG's.
Thank you, GG's Rick.
GG's to you as well, Jess. Full shapes. I did not expect that in my randomizer seed this evening.
I did not either. I was pleasantly surprised, but then also sad because so many bomb walls.
So many bomb walls. Oh, here's a dig dogger blocking a shutter door to the left that apparently is what you need to do to get through another section of this dungeon. Oh, here's a ladder block with a dig dogger in it.
Oh, and here's level 4 and level 1 up on Death Mountain, where you always go last.
Wait, so many bomb
walls. Oh, and here's
walls.
level 3 under a recorder block.
So many bomb walls? You mean with so many explosions?
Yes, I was very happy. I got wand super early, like 3 minutes in. No, 7 minutes in. I can't count.
Yeah, I'll have to
and then
see.
I saw the broomstick.
Yeah, I'll have to see exactly where that wand turned out to be, because once I got that Triforce in 6, I'm like, no, I'm not digging through the remainder of this level 6. This could be a nightmare if I choose to dig it. So if the seed turns out to be further
it was
aided
like
by that boomstick, I'm going to take it.
Left, or no, 5 rooms left and 2 rooms up, I think. And I dug that right away. That was my first level that I found. And I'm like, I got to do the meme. I got to do the Rick 6. And I popped in there. I'm like, all right, 1 more room. And it was an open staircase in the 1. And I was totally happy.
The Rick 6 was what I was originally planning to do for that level 2 when I popped inside, but I did a whole lot more than a Rick 6 in that.
Oh, did you not realize we had the Triforce out of there?
No, because at that point I had 0 keys. So my sole reason of digging that 2 was looking for keys, which gave me the hint for level 3 being on Death Mountain.
Oh, nice. Yep, I've full cleared everything except for the 2 raft spots and 1 whistle spot to find that level 3.
The only thing I did not get on my overworld was the 2 raft spots, and because I was an idiot when I was checking that section of Death Mountain, the letter cave, if it was anything.
Where was the letter cave? Did I pick up the letter? I don't even remember.
Nobody picked up the letter today.
No, what I mean by the letter cave is the second quest letter cave over there in the upper left of Death Mountain.
The push block.
Wait, I thought I could have sworn I was there, though. Did I not grab the letter?
There was not a letter in it. That's just a location of where the letter is in second quest.
Oh, gotcha.
Because everyone loves second quest, right? Right? TQ8 is a good level? Maybe? No? Okay.
I love thinking... I love being under the belief that I'm in a first quest overworld, a full first quest overworld, until one bomb spot doesn't open up. Oh,
that's
shoot.
Time to go back to all the places you didn't check.
Yep.
Yeah. No, it was a super fun seed. I'm never the biggest fan of the vanilla items. And, of course, with 1 and 4 being buried on Death Mountain, and I'm like, something has to be recorder blocked. I went into 5. I was blocked. I could have sworn I was just key blocked. And I actually dug 8 relatively early and nearly full cleared the darn thing to find the Triforce and find the key along the way. And I was like, I'm going to go back to 5 and grab my tutor. And then I was ladder blocked. It's like, dang it.
Yeah. I got key blocked my first trip into level 5, and then I came back with keys and to find out, oh, here is a nice, lovely vertical river room that I can't get through. Can I bomb into the area? Oh,
of course
shoot.
Not.
Yeah, and of course it was a required double dip at Death Mountain because you had to get up there to 4 to get the ladder to go back and get the tutor to go back up there again to find level 3.
Oh yeah, you gotta love that. What I love the most, Rick, was that, like you said, that path in 7 to the Triforce. And did I die 3 times to that 8 Wizzy room that was 2 above the Triforce?
Yeah.
And of course, the one time I go and refill my health before going back in to get it, I get through that room without a single Wizzy beam. It's like, come on.
That's how this game works, though.
I decided about midway through, once I found the second of the big secrets, screw the boomstick, we're going for the blue ring.
Oh, you got ring. Nice.
It's kind of what I feel is my appropriate strategy when I find out that it's vanilla items, because red ring's going to be a 9, and who knows what hellacious combat you're going to have to do.
That's a very interesting. I guess I never even thought. I'm like, boomstick. I'm getting boomsticks. I want to blow up everything, especially with Wizzies and dungeons, because I can't stand Wizzy combat. But interesting. I was really sad though. Up near level 2, I had, I don't know, like 200 rupees maybe, and there was a secret in that cave, and I'm like, all right, well, I know I need, I think it was 212. I'm like, there's no way this is going to be my other large. And I go in, and of course, it's like my second large, and I lose 100 rupees.
Happens half the time. I'm like, at points in time, I'm like, okay, never mind this. We're going to take a retry. But sometimes it's even harder to do a retry. I think it did. How many retries did I end up doing?
I was not
3 or 4. And you both ended up leaving money in that same secret. It's just one of you left about 100 rupees and the other left about 45.
Oh man, I don't even know where was did you find a third large secret? I could have sworn I only found 2.
Not.
All right, must have been either raft Probably raft locked.
It almost had to be that the letter and the third big secret probably was behind the raft that was in 3, which
Yeah.
I'm guessing for both of us was our last dungeon found.
Yeah, because the only other recorder spot I had open was 2 above where we started.
Did I check that one? Well, I've got nothing marked. Oh, I didn't check the 2 river spots either, so.
I did check, neither one bombed open, so not there.
I mean, I didn't check level 2 either.
Yep, nothing there either. Or maybe some money, I don't know.
I don't know. How about that Silver's? How about that Silver's first room into 9?
I burned the silvers.
I saw you do that.
It's just like, oh, come on. On a seed that had, vanilla items, I thought, oh, it's a shapes 9. We're going to have a fun dig. And 1 room in is silvers. Come on.
At least you got to show us a lot more of 9 than Rick did.
Oh, did you have a better path than I found?
Yeah, so I took that first spiral staircase that was near where the silvers were. That took me up to the northwest part. I backed around to find where Ganon was, and the room to the left to Ganon takes you 2 rooms south of Zelda.
Oh, nice. Okay, you had a much more expedient path then.
Yeah, I think I'm counting. It looks like 15 rooms in all.
Wow, nice. No, like I said, I always enjoy shapes. It just makes it so much more fun for the dig, so good rolling also.
Yeah, I have to compliment on the roll there as well. And as I was saying before you got in here, I knew that you were not going to be an easy opponent to deal with here because you definitely have come a long way with your combat and your ability to route. As I was just saying before you got in here, you're not 3-1 by a fluke. You're 3-1 for a reason. So I had to take you very seriously here.
Did you say I'm not 3-1 by a flute? I heard flute, and I think it's supposed to be fluke, and I think you said fluke, but my mind just heard
fluke.
I don't know. I mean, the flute usually leads to doing well in the things.
Yeah, she's got tutor on the brain.
It does. I mean, I had to play Zelda, the Song of My People, before I rescued her,
But
yes, I was laughing about that one.
But no, I mean, Rick, it was a pleasure to play against you, and
oh yeah.
I mean, I'm not even trying to do like the whole modesty thing, but I was shocked to find myself at 3-1. I had a lot of close matches against some really tough opponents, but I'm really proud of how far I've come over the last year of playing Rando. So I'm looking forward to the brackets to see what that brings me for matchups.
I 100% agree with you on that one. You definitely have come a long ways, especially coming out of the rookie Rumble tournament to now be where you are. You're going to be going into the brackets at 3-2, and you're going to be a force to be reckoned with in that first round. Go kick butt.
I will avenge this loss in the name of Rick.
I want to see the 2 of you up against each other again in the brackets.
You never know what the wheel might spin, or I guess the ranked brackets might bracket.
It just means the 2 of you got to win until you fight each other again.
Exactly.
With the small bias that if either of you is against me, I can't root for you.
Nah, that's not fair. Come on, you have to root for us now. You said it.
Well, I mean, I'll just end up not in the same part of the bracket. Problem solved.
So, jessandy versus Also in the finals?
Oh, goodness.
Oh, that would be something.
Dibs on commentary.
Me too.
I will say there are so many amazing people that are going to be in the bracket stages. And, I mean, just overall in the Swiss, there's been so many great matches to watch. Although, I still want to do the whole for 2.7 seconds. I'm most proud of that during my Swiss time.
Yeah, that is an absolutely amazing win.
Yeah, like, that's the kind of thing that you just look at it and you're like, okay, that's the level of play we have in this tournament. Excellent.
But yeah, GG's again, Rick, and thanks a lot to Comms, to Alsoa, to Alan. I think Fury was tracking, so thanks a lot, guys, for putting us on the air.
Yeah, definitely thank you all for being on the commentary. I'll look forward to watching this one back. And as I just said, kick button brackets there, Jess Andy.
Yeah, you too. And if we ever make it back to each other or on comms together, we will talk, I don't know, 90s Disney this time?
We'll go under the sea with that one.
Yes.
Just give your soul to the mouse. Problem solved.
I already have. It's a problem.
Tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme. Tudor and the Bunny.
I would clap, but I have push to talk on.
I'm now just imagining a bunny playing a recorder, and it works in my head.
It totally works.
Fury's threatening to end episode, so I think this is the sign for the wrap-up.
Yep. So GG's again to both of our runners, Jess Andy and adirondackrick. And on behalf of my co-commentator, MX Allen, on behalf of our tracker, Fury SK, and on behalf of the SpeedGaming family channels, this has been also wishing you a wonderful night, and we have plenty of Zelda 1 randomizer action coming up tonight if you'd like to get some more races. I believe we have at least one going right now. Elsewise, we should have some more coming up here, I want to say at 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in.